Hey Addicts, welcome back. We're here to talk about more Arifureta stuff. This is kind of a follow-up video to the reaction trailer that I did a while back. Somebody, I don't know if you're a new subscriber or if you just happened to catch the last two videos, but somebody commented on the last two Arifureta videos that I made, dropping links to the other previews that have released since the one that I looked at and did a video of. So I wanted to make a video looking at that kind of as a final sneak peek to kind of get the hype going, you know, and to have a good feeling going into the season. And then also I wanted to talk a little bit about the season and kind of like my expectations, where I think it needs to go or I think might it go. So with that being said, we're gonna jump right in, but first of all, I just wanted to shout out the guy that actually sent the links, a guy named Isekai Gar. So thank you a lot for commenting that and providing those links. So we're gonna watch through this. It's only a minute long. I've already seen it, so I'm gonna just try to keep quiet. So if any of you haven't seen it before, you can see it here. I know it's not the best quality, but you know. And then we'll go back through it again and talk about it. I will have a link in the description too for this if you want to watch it in like better quality. But anyway, guys, we're gonna start with this. Alright, so that's the ending of that. Now, right off the bat, I want to say, holy crap, did they improve the animation. Like, it looks a lot better. There's still a little bit of stuff I'd like to touch on in terms of that, but here, we're going to turn this down a little bit and go through it. I guess before I turn it down, and also you get to hear Hajime speak, which I guess that's, I'll leave the volume up for just this section I want to touch on, but I want you to pay as close attention as you can. I'm not sure how the audio is going to sound through this, but I want you to see if you guys can hear this. Okay, did you guys notice that? How his voice sounded at the start and then how it changed? And then it starts getting more and more different. And I like that. I think that's like a subtle thing. It sounds, at least to me, it sounds like the voice actor took like the sympathy out of his voice. And, you know, just judging by like the two scenes, you know, I think that, you know, relates really well. So my first like impression of the voice actor, I do like it. I still am not, I can't say 100% sure, you know, because we haven't seen the show yet, but I have a more calmness to going into it on that front. So I do like that. As for this, you know, you get to see, again, like, the opening of the series is like this scene, and I think this, like, film grain that they have going on is probably, like, the actual opening of the show we'll see. And then, you know, like, if we see, like, here again, you see how it has like that darker tone. You know, it's probably like the opening, like just little flashes we'll see, and then, you know, it'll probably be normal looking when we actually get to that part in the show. But the other thing too was, let's see here, I'll just run through, let me start it over again, and I'll just pause it when I see something. You know, that's another thing too, this monster we see in the background, it looks CGI, but overall, these scenes that we saw less CGI, which is something that I personally like. I'm glad that, you know, not everything's going to go the CGI route, which I think was kind of a downside, or one of the points I didn't like in Goblin Slayer, with having him all CGI. Now this part we've already seen before. We do get a look at what Kalki looks like, and man, doesn't he just look like a prick from just this image alone? It does look like they changed his armor slightly, but yeah, that guy, I can't wait till he gets the crap beat out of him. Then you get a little bit of Kaori. I do love the, like, how you do see a little bit of despair in, like, Hajime's eyes there. Where was it? You know, kind of there. You know, it's one, I hope it gets dark. You know, even darker than what it seems like the little snippet they give us here. I know this doesn't seem that dark, but, you know, I hope we get in that direction and maximize it. You know, with being White Fox, you know, they've done ReZero and Steins Gate, I think, too. So, you know, they can do it, and they've, you know, that's probably one of the reasons why they decided to go with them. But I just hope they are able to do that, because with Goblin Slayer, it didn't stay there. So I'm hoping that we get that for this. Not to say the whole series has to have that, but at least at this beginning part, I think it's essential. We get to see you again, which that's about the 3 scenes we see in this short little snippet. It's it's the beginning, the opening bit where Hajime falls into the abyss. We get to see him fighting the bear claw, or claw, I can't remember what it's called specifically. And then we get to see the fight between, like, the ogre cyclops thing that Hajime has to fight in order to get you out of the barrier. And that's the only 3 scenes we see. Now this part, I do like, because Hajime has this thing where, you know, he's a self-proclaimed otaku, and he's got this, you know, this all like anime-esque air about him already, and I just love that they seem to be keeping a little bit of that, you know, because it's like, it's almost like a fourth wall break almost, but I like that. Now, right here, this is a little bit, I have a little bit of issue with. It's right here. And I don't know if you can hear that, but the sound effects throughout this, I don't think they're up to snuff. Especially the gunshots. You know, they go into so much detail in the light novel about how powerful his Dawn Orange Slag are. And even, like, the first versions of them. And so just to get that little, like, peek, peek, you know, it's like, that could be a lot better. You know, it should sound at least like a 44, you know, like a hand cannon type thing. So again, it could just be like, you know, they're like, oh, well, don't worry, the sound effects will change when, you know, we get to the part of the story where he beefs them up and creates different versions. But that was only one thing. Also, the bear seems to move kind of slowly in this part, so I'm hoping that's not the case. I mean, granted, that's like 2 seconds, so there could be any circumstance there, but you know, just that little highlight, we get to see the Guardian of Use, which, again, the sound effects a little bit, but I do like for this instance, you can't probably see it because of the glare, but Hajime is, like, just has this insane look on his face, and he's got, like, that devilish smile. His eyes are just all crazy. I do like that a lot. The other thing, too, it just kind of bugs me a little bit, but that there's no recoil for his revolver, which Hajime's so strong that you probably wouldn't suspect that it would have recoil, but at the same time, it's just like, I don't know, it takes that plus the sound effects make me get the impression that it doesn't have that much power. So I hope, you know, they can demonstrate that pretty well later on. Also, these this, like, coloring, they've improved a lot of the coloring, but this part still looks odd to me, especially, like, the, I guess, like, the creature's blood. That's a little off. But, you know, overall, like, the animation has improved a lot. Like, even with that, like, I don't know if, you know, like, here, just as, like, a quick thing real quick, I know I'm getting sidetracked, but look at this, okay? and I don't know if you'll be able to tell. If you can't, just go back. I won't spend too long on here, but I mean, look at this version here. I'll blow it up a little bit. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to tell. Well, anyway, go back and look at like the old promo. Like the art is horrendous. Like the style they wanted to go with and stuff like that, it was horrendous compared to the new version, which the new version looks a lot better. And yeah, I won't spend too much time because that's kind of busted, can't even show up there. But yeah, like, I don't know, like the old version looked like some, like Hajime's face looked like some knockoff like Dragon Ball Z level human, or not Dragon Ball Z, like Pokemon. So I'm glad that they fixed that. You know, you get to see a bit more of that, and then, you know, you get the release date again, which is July 8th, right around the corner. The other thing, let me just look real quick. I had a few things written down here that I wanted to talk about, but yeah, I think I pretty much covered everything that I wanted to in terms of this trailer. Now, real quick, I did want to add that I found this group. It's like a fan page on Facebook, believe it or not. Well, that app's dead, but I just happened to catch it. And I saw that somebody posted that they found that the show's supposed to be 13 episodes, which that's not confirmed from what I could tell. But if that is the case, that is a little sad. Then I think the whole thing was that they had 13 episodes and there's going to be like 2 or 3 unaired something. It was like classified as B and D, which I'm not exactly sure what that's supposed to mean. But if that is the case, you know, it kind of makes sense because it's, you know, the first season of the show. They don't know how people, if it's going to be like a popular show. So it's to be expected. I just hope that they don't rush things. Again, we kind of talked in the other video that I really wanted at least to get to like volume 4. You know, I didn't think that volume 6 was possible, but volume 4 I thought would be a good stopping point. It looks like now they're gonna have to stop at like volume 3, which is still great. That's still a good way to end it. I just, you know, not really sure how much of, you know, TO we'd really get if they stop at volume 3. Also I just hope that they don't rush the reunion thing if that's the case. You know, maybe if they stick to volume 3, they should be okay. But again, you know, the novels are just so big, and the manga, at least from just a little bit I've seen, they already leave out some key things. Not key things, but, you know, just stuff that is nice to see. So hopefully they don't cut too much in the 13th episode. Hopefully they're able to balance it. Ideally, I think the first episode to me would be, you know, maybe not at all in Tortoise at all. Maybe just maybe around the 12-minute mark. I'll give it that. You know, have it to where you see the little snippet at the beginning where Hajime's talking and saying how he fell in the dungeon. We go back to when they're on Earth in their school. We see that scene play out. We get a little bit of insight into how his life is. And then have them be summoned, and either have that the end of the first episode, or at least have it the halfway point. Have it about 12, 13-minute mark, and then, you know, by the end of the episode have their orientation where Hajime figures out that he's like the weakest out of the whole group. You know, have something like that. I don't want it to, you know, get farther than that in the first episode. If it takes it a little bit slow at the beginning, by all means, you know, if it's not till like episode 2 or 3, maybe 4, I doubt that they're going to do that since they have 13 episodes. But, you know, at least wait till episode 2 for him to, you know, be in the abyss. There's a lot of time that elapses, so I want to have that sense of that. You know, the voice acting seems solid at this point. We've only gotten a little snippet of it, but it's enough to, you know, reassure me. The animation is a lot better than it was when we first saw it. So I already said, you know, if the animation was like the shittiest I'd ever seen, this series is so near and dear to my heart that I would watch it regardless. And as long as they do good on the story aspect, I could settle for stick figure level anime. Well, no, not that bad, but you know, like I'm willing to take a lot of things into consideration. But this, you know, does look decent. Again, some of the animation still looks a little off. They could always polish it. The sound effects, I hope, get better. But you know, like I said, they need to focus on story. And as long as they focus on story and they, you know, seem like, at least from just seeing the animation change so much and improve, and even like scrapping the original style, that they do have people that are dedicated to this series, or at least the project in general, and they want it to do good. So I'm hoping that that is the case, and that's what I'm going to go into thinking. I don't want to drag it on too much longer, but I would like to hear what you guys have to say after this. Are you fully invested? Are you still on the fence? Are you cautiously optimistic like me? I'm kind of like, you know, I'm always going to be worried about it until I see it, but I think they've done the best they could at lowering the worries that I have going into it. So I'm excited. We only have a little bit, it came a lot sooner than I thought, because for some reason I was thinking it was going to be like September. I don't know why. But yeah, July, next week, probably by the time this uploads. So be sure to, you know, check back on the channel, or, you know, you can subscribe if you want to, if you're interested in hearing me talk about the episodes individually, because I will go over them. And yeah, great time to be a Arifureta fan. So with that being said, guys, I'll let you go because it's already way longer than this probably needed to be. But yeah, I'll catch you down in the comments, and I'll see you for the next video. Peace, Addicts.